Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Marcus Rojo has left Manchester United to join Boca Juniors on a permanent basis for an undisclosed fee. Marcus Rojo did endure 6.5 years at Manchester United. He made 122 appearances in total. Back in March 2018, Rojo signed a new 3-year deal with the club. The last appearance he made for us was November 2019. The second half of last season, he was out on loan with Estudiantes. We did pay around £16 million for Rojo from Sporting Lisbon back in 2014. So yeah, he has now officially left the club. Now, according to recent reports, Man United are willing to let 8 players leave to complete our squad overhaul. Now, Paul Pogba, he's one of the players that could leave Man United in the summer transfer window. There's also a chance he could stay potentially past the summer, because it said a few weeks ago that Paul Pogba was considering making a U-turn at the club. And he said that he contradicted his agent Mino Raiola for the second time. You know, could Paul Pogba still sign a new long-term contract at Man United? I think his future is on hold until the end of the season. Now, Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, he recently gave us an update on Paul Pogba's future, and he said Paul Pogba's transfer away from Man United is still on the cards. He said Mino Raiola has been planning a move for Paul Pogba next summer. Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola made an announcement back in December and said that his client's career at Man United is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave, and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. You know, Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. Paul Pogba had an ankle injury earlier on this season. The vast majority of his performances have been very, very good since he came back from that ankle injury. For the vast majority of last season, he was out with an ankle injury. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United till June 2022. He's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. You know, he rejoined us in 2016. Since he rejoined, he's made over 100 appearances in all competitions, and he's won 3 trophies at the club. That was the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. He has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been linked to a move to PSG in recent weeks. Don't forget, Mino Raiola was talking with PSG, and it mentioned earlier on this season that Pochettino identified Paul Pogba as his top target. He's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid, and there's been narratives of him possibly going back to Juventus. Now, Fabrizio Romano revealed the 4 players that Juventus offered us to try and sign Paul Pogba. I think it said a few weeks ago, if we are to sell him in the summer, we do want £75 million. Recently, we've been putting Paul Pogba in more of an advanced role. Solskjaer did say earlier on this season he can be convinced to stay at the club if the club win trophies. Now, another player we are willing to sell in the summer is Juan Mata. Now, Juan Mata has had a good career at Manchester United. He's been at the club now, is it 7 years or almost 7 years? He's made over 200 appearances in all competitions and he's scored, is it 50 goals? We got Juan Mata in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. Earlier on this season, Mata rejected an £18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. In some of the games he has played in this season, he has done quite well, but my element of concern about him, he has lost that yard of pace, and he's 33, 34 now. Solskjaer said earlier on this season that Juan Mata's future at the club is uncertain. I think his current contract expires in June, but we have the option to trigger his contract by a further year. Another player we are willing to let go is Phil Jones. That'll be in the summer. I'm surprised we didn't offload him in the January transfer window. But now he's going to be given a second chance, is Phil Jones. You know, Phil Jones has been out with injury for 12 months. I think he did have an operation. This is Phil Jones' 10th season at Man United, so he has been a long servant. He has been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Another player we're willing to offload is Sergio Romero. Sergio Romero has been at the club over 5 years. He's our third choice keeper. He's always been our backup option. We got Romero on a free from San Pandora back in 2015. Now, Jesse Lingard, I think we're willing to let him go on a permanent transfer. Lingard is out on loan with West Ham now. West Ham paid a loan fee of 1.5 million. And West Ham are covering his wages. Diego Dalot would also want to get rid of him on a permanent transfer. Dalot is out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. Andres Pereira, I think we also want to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with Lazio. Taheef Chong, I think we also want to get rid of him permanently. Now, Solskjaer did say, didn't he, during the transfer window that fringe players could leave, and obviously, you know, quite a few players left in the January transfer window. It was a disappointing transfer window though for Man United because we only saw one arrival, and that was Amad Diallo Traore. We got Amad Diallo Traore in a deal worth £37 million with add-ons included. We obviously paid £19 million up front. Amad Diallo Traore recently made his debut for the under-23s in the game against Liverpool. He scored twice. Amad Diallo-Traoré to Man United was official in January, early January I think it was, but actually the deal was agreed back in October. So it probably won't be too long now till we see him in the first team squad like Ollie confirmed, but now Solskjaer said that Joe Hugel will be making his debut soon. I think he's actually picked Joe Hugel over Amad Diallo-Traoré. But yeah, Solskjaer did say, didn't he, a few times during the January transfer window that he wasn't expecting any signings. Solskjaer has now endured 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. So Woodward must back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the summer transfer window. Because I think the transfer window Solskjaer's endured so far, he hasn't been backed enough. And Woodward has come out several times to support Solskjaer. And he's promised that he will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And he said towards the end of last year that he will back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. Despite our reluctance to back Solskjaer with transfers and that, I still think he has made good signings as Man United manager. You know, he has spent over £200 million at the club. You know, in the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January of last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odion Ighalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Palestra. And like I said, we agreed the deal for Amad Diallo-Traoré last October. Last summer, we got 4 of those players on deadline day. But like I've said, Tino, the board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. You know, the board haven't backed any of the managers enough that we've had since Ferguson retired. And we've overpaid for players. Woodward's been at the club since 2012 and the Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. I've already given you the areas where I think we need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a world-class midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. I think the players we could sign in the summer, by the way, is obviously Sergio Ramos. Recent narrative said that Sergio Ramos wants to join Manchester United and he's prepared to leave Real Madrid in the summer. He's going to be available on a free, by the way, because Ramos will not be signing a new contract with Real Madrid because he recently rejected a 2-year contract offer from Real Madrid. PSG were the favourites, but Sergio Ramos doesn't fancy a move to PSG. If we did get Ramos in, you know, it would be only short term because he's 34, but he would go very, very well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. If Ramos came to the Premier League, would he be able to replicate what he's done with Real Madrid? He's been a long-serving player at Real Madrid as Ramos. And he's been there, is it 15 and a half, 16 years? He's won 22 major honours with Real Madrid. He's made over 600 appearances for them in all competitions. Real Madrid paid around €27 million for him from Sevilla back in 2005. Do you think we've got a chance of getting that Jules Koundé in the summer? Because apparently Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified him as his priority target for the summer. He plays for Sevilla. He's valued at £60 million. He's got a contract with Sevilla till 2024. Sevilla paid, was it £22 million for him from Bordeaux around 18 months ago. And he is a defender, and his performances for Sevilla have been outstanding. Only the age of 22, has still got a lot of development in him. few other clubs have been monitoring him as well. There's still a chance we will sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window, because Sport 1 recently said that Borussia Dortmund are relying on Jadon Sancho's sale. Because it said Dortmund are expecting losses of around £88 million because of the coronavirus pandemic. So Dortmund are going to be forced to lower their demands. Dortmund are expecting Sancho to leave in the summer. Don't forget, Woodward and Joe Glazer recently had a row over Sancho. Apparently Sancho accidentally stole the captain's armband in Dortmund's game against Augsburg recently. Last summer, Jadon Sancho was our number one priority target, but Borussia Dortmund's valuation was £108 million and we was not willing to meet that valuation. So the fee was a stumbling block, but last summer it said a few times that the personal terms had been agreed and the agent fees had been agreed and even a contract had been agreed. And Fabrizio Romano, he's spoken a lot about the Sancho saga, and so too has Bill's Christian Falk. Dortmund made it clear to us last summer that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player, and we missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. Earlier on this season, Sancho made an admission saying that he has enjoyed a difficult season with Dortmund, but he said he was happy to be back among the goals. This is his fourth season with them. Analysing the vast majority of his career at Dortmund, he's been consistent. He's got a contract with Dortmund until 2023. Dortmund paid just £8 million for him from Man City back in 2017. But if we do fail to sign Jadon Sancho again, then I think we're going to attempt to sign Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. We do need more signings if we are to be genuine title contenders. I think we've also got to start beating the big teams in the Premier League if we are to be genuine title contenders. You know, we've really struggled against the top six in the Premier League this season. Obviously, drew 0-0 with Arsenal recently, drew 0-0 with Liverpool a few weeks ago, drew 0-0 with City earlier on this season, drew 0-0 with Chelsea, drew 2-2 with Leicester, lost 6-1 to Tottenham. We did beat a few of the big teams though last season. I don't think we're going to win the Premier League. And like I said to you recently, is Man United's Premier League title challenge already over? Because we've had a couple of disappointing results recently. Obviously, we drew 0-0 with Arsenal and we lost 2-1 to Sheffield United at Old Trafford. We've still got an outside chance though, but a lot of people believe now that Man City are going to win it because they've come from nowhere, Man City. We will win another title at some point, probably won't be this season. Maybe we'll win it next season, maybe the next couple of seasons. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it now for like 8 years. But we are the most successful in terms of, leagues, because obviously we've won 20 titles, and obviously 13 Premier League titles. I think we could win a trophy though this season. The FA Cup is a chance of a trophy. We're into the 5th round of that. The Europa League is a chance of a trophy. Solskjaer knows how important it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy for like 4 years now. But despite a couple of disappointing results recently. Oh yeah, I am still Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in. I don't know though if he's the long-term manager for Man United. I think there is uncertainty regarding his future, but I think Solskjaer's going to be given at least another season at the football club. This is his second full season at the moment. But Solskjaer has been criticised as Manchester United manager a lot, especially earlier on this season, reflecting how inconsistent we was. But I think in recent months and that, players have improved, performances have improved. I think in the last year or so, Solskjaer has made good progress. Don't forget, reflect on that 0-0 draw with Arsenal. We set a new club record because we are unbeaten in our last 18 Premier League away games. We was unbeaten in 13 Premier League games until Sheffield United had beaten us. I think there's still a few things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to do at the club though. I think he's got to give Donny van de Beek more chances. I think he's got to identify his best 11 because I don't think Solskjaer knows his best 11, to be honest with you. I know our best 11. And I think he's got to get his selections in that right persistently. Now, in some games, he has showed tactical flexibility, but there's also been a lot of games where he has been tactically naive. Reflecting now on Solskjaer's been at the club, he's gained managerial experience, he's learned quite a bit on the job and that. He's managed over 100 games as Man United manager in all competitions. Solskjaer, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. Lost that to Man City 2-0. He did well last season in his first full season. Got us qualification for the Champions League. Got us third and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. And like I said, a hell of a lot of players have now left since he came in. So he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood. Let's put into the equation Solskjaer's inheriting players from other managerial eras. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. Solskjaer's been Man United manager now for over 2 years. He's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We did appoint Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. We've got to improve our home form because we've actually been very, very poor at home this season. We've lost, 5 games at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. Yes, we do play Southampton soon at Old Trafford. Man United must get back to winning ways because we are winless in our last 2 league games. Like I said, we've got a good record against Southampton. We haven't lost to them in our last 9 meetings. Last time Southampton beaten us was back in January 2016. They beat us 1-0 at Old Trafford. And, we haven't been scoring goals recently. Southampton haven't been scoring goals recently. Southampton have lost their last 3 league games. Obviously, the game at Old Trafford last season was 2-2. But we did beat them at St Mary's earlier on this season 3-2. We overcame a 2-goal deficit. But I think Ralph Hasenhüttl has done a good job at Southampton. We've seen a lot of consistency from Southampton since that 9-0 loss they had to Leicester. Was it 9-0 loss to Leicester? Was it last season? I thought Southampton were also consistent when they had Mauricio Pochettino. Pochettino guided them to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. Pochettino, though, only enjoyed a short tenure. I did give you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference for this game. Solskjaer did say he's expecting to face a strong Southampton side, despite the injuries that they've got. Give us an update on Phil Jones. As you all know, he's getting a second chance. He obviously spoken about the racial abuse that's being directed to our players. He also revealed, Solskjaer, that the officials admitted that they made 2 mistakes in the 2-1 loss to Sheffield United. And he's confirmed there's no injuries. But yeah, I gave my prediction earlier on. I think Man United are going to win this game 2-1 tonight. Got a pretty hard game at the weekend as well. We do play Everton. Like I've said to you, there's players we will sell in the summer, but there's also a lot of players that we are going to keep at the football club. We'll obviously keep Rashford. You know, I think he's a foreseeable future for Man United. He has been out of form though recently. Martial, keep him for at least this season. You know, but Martial has actually been out of form this season. And a lot of United fans have been saying he needs to be dropped. We'll keep Edison Cavani. Cavani will see out his contract at the club because Edison Cavani has made a fantastic impact since, you know, he came in last summer. We'll keep Mason Greenwood. I think he's a foreseeable future for Man United. We'll obviously keep Bruno Fernandes. He just needs to get back to his best form because Bruno Fernandes has been out of form a little bit recently. It was recently his 12-month anniversary at the club, so he's been here just over a year now, Fernandes. Certainly made a difference in the team. We'll keep Donny van de Beek for now. Will he possibly leave in the summer if, you know, he continues not getting enough opportunities? You know, don't forget Solskjaer did admit that Van de Beek's unhappy at the club with his lack of game time, but Solskjaer promised him more game time at the club. We'll keep Fred because Fred's improving under Ollie. We'll keep McTominay. He's had some good games, but as you all know, I do have reservations about McTominay. Luke Shaw will keep him because he's really improving. Stu remains our first choice left back despite Alex Telles coming in last summer. I actually thought Alex Telles would have been our first choice left back immediately. Alex Telles has played nowhere near as much as I expected. You know, we'll keep obviously Telles, yeah. We'll keep Harry Maguire. We'll keep Bay despite him being injury prone because Bay's played well since he started playing again. And Wan-Bissaka will also keep him. I think Wan-Bissaka is improving. De Gea will keep him. He's had some good games this season, but he's also had a few poor games as well. This is David De Gea's 10th season at the club, so he has been a long servant. Made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. Dean Henderson will keep him as well because I think at some point he'll become our number 1. Obviously, Daniel James is staying. He said towards the end of the window that Solskjaer made his decision on Daniel James is staying, even though there was rumours of him possibly leaving. Williams is staying. There was narratives of him possibly going out on loan because he's our third choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles. But like I say, I want Solskjaer to succeed as Man United manager. Whether he does or whether he doesn't, I'll still always adore him because at the end of the day, he's a club legend. You know, Solskjaer, don't forget, is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson left. You know, 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson, and that was Moyes. Sacked him after 10 months. Finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we finished in the Premier League year. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season. In recent months, we have seen consistency from Man United, and, you know, Solskjaer has been bringing the old Man United back. We have been getting glimpses of the Sir Alex Ferguson era. And no one's going to do what Alex Ferguson did, are they? You know, that's something we've got to accept. So anyway, guys, match reaction for Southampton will either be after the game tonight or it will be tomorrow morning. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.